Hi, this is Sarah, the Stitchin Mommy, and it's Monday, August 19th, 2024, here for my weekly cross-stitch update. I have Smokey here with me next to me, but she decided to sleep right here, so you can't see her, and she's right where I always put everything that I've just showed you, so hopefully she'll move. There she is. Hi. So, I'd rather she be right there or, you know, somewhere where you guys can see her regularly, but cats will be cats, right? So we'll start with travel stitching. Oh yeah, I do have a couple reminders. There's a 14,000 subscriber giveaway on my last channel that's still ongoing with 7 quilt patterns and 7 cross stitch patterns to be 14 total patterns. And there's also, so if you want to check that out, if you missed that video, it's called Calm Week Ahead, I think. And then there's also a coupon code. I'll put that up here again for my Etsy shop for 14% off patterns. That's good still until the 25th. Yes, this coming Sunday. So if you are so inclined, you can go take advantage of that. And there she is. There she is. Anyways, so that's still up for one more week. So what I've been working on is Temperature Turtles by me. And I got all caught up with August. All right, I'm back. We had a little string on our comforter that had started to unravel. So Smokey was, of course, chewing on it and pulling at it. So I've clipped the string. She's now hiding under the bed. I can see her little tail sticking out. So we'll see if you see her again, but oh goodness. Here is my Temperature Turtles now. This is 28 count Caribbean Blue Jobelin, 1/1, full cross. And I got August all cut up with the patches and then finished out this flipper. So there's no more stitching I could have done. So this is great. It's a nice place to be fully caught up. I did go ahead and order or sign up for a Fabric of the Month club, which is really fun. I've never been in one of those before. I've been in a Fabric Threads of the Month club before, a couple different ones, but never fabric. And it was partly because or mostly, I guess, because I realized recently I'm really enjoying 25 count, 1/1. All my little cats and hearts are on 25 count. My recent start, The Meadow by Carolyn Manning, is on 25 count, and I realized I don't have a lot of that in my stash, and it would be fun to have a few extras to choose from whenever I want to start something over 1, because full coverages, I have quite a variety of counts to pick from, but the things where you can see the background and I want to stitch it tiny, 25 is kind of my favorite right now. So I thought, you know what, they had I went with Bee Stitch Me, and they had where you go back and forth between a neutral and a color. So I thought, oh, that'd be fun. So I think signing up this weekend, I think I was too late to get in on the August one. So it'll probably be like the end of September before I get one, but I thought that'd be fun. So stay tuned for that. Speaking of my travel pieces, I am working on Cats and Hearts August by Kitty and Me Designs. Did not get as much done on this as I would have wanted to. Kids are back in school now, but we're still kind of figuring out everything. Oh, there she is by the door. Now she's gonna want to get out. It's not as straightforward as when they were in elementary school. Let's just put it that way. So my oldest drives himself home. My middle has a variety of pickups, and some I thought I'd be sitting more in order to coordinate pickups with my elementary and my high school at the same time. But it turns out it might be better to just not have as much waiting time it might be better for everybody, which means less cross-stitching time. So I don't know. That's kind of disappointing, but so we'll have to see how this goes. But so far, this is where this is at. 25 count white even weave, 1/1 full cross. I got the, right now I think I've on my needle, I think I have the lightest green, but I don't know, just barely started the lightest green, but I think I have the medium and next lightest green finished. They're kind of a mossy green, and then I have a lightest, and there's 2 more dark colors, a little bit more in the kitty cat too. So not a whole lot. So we'll see what this week looks like, if I'll get any more on that one. Well, I will get more, but how much more is yet to be determined. I did work on Castle Homecoming just a little bit while I was chatting with my sister. This is by the Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery. I don't know if you can see her. She's over there chasing her tail right next to the door. So if you hear a thump, that's what she's doing. She's being crazy, but that's okay. So this was the mystery stitch along from last year. It ended in February of this year. I'm hoping to finish all of mine by the end of this calendar year. So I thought about working in these little squirrels in the tree, but my sister wanted me to start on the dragon. So I pulled out that dark green and started working on the dragon. I'm like mid-stitch. That's funny. I did need to go rather quickly. So here is this one. This is 28 count ice blue Lugana 1/1 full cross, and called for, or not called for, a fancy floss conversion. So mostly over here in the dragon's head. It is slightly different. I moved his eye up, the eye patch, and because I thought it was charted rather oddly, so I'm adjusting his face a little bit. So hopefully it turns out okay. Don't think I did anything over here. I think it was all just dragon. It feels like I didn't get a whole lot done, especially compared to the last couple weeks where I've had extra time, not just call time. So not a whole lot done on that one, but I will try to bring it out here and there if I have extra days to try to get it finished a little faster, because an hour once a week is not enough to get that done in the rest of the year, I don't think. But that's okay. So anything else bonus? I think that's all the extra bits I did. Oh no, just kidding. Starting Saturday, I am gonna try to stitch for the Vuelta de España, which is a bike race in Spain, and stitch the kilometers that they're riding every day. So it's during the school year. I don't know and I'm choosing a full cross project, whereas the last time I did this with the Tour de France, I did a half cross project. We'll see. Sunday I did a good amount of 200 stitches, and I don't know if I'll have time for that every day. So there are 2 rest days, so if I get behind I can maybe make it up, but I'm planning to do the Shine Bright sampler, which is put on by the Fat Quarter Shop. You can find it in the Bonnie and Camille Quilt Bee book in the back of the book. And I'm using the Fat Quarter Shop's color conversion. There it is. For the Shine Bright colorway with Ari Floss. So here is where I got to. Not a huge amount, but you should be able to see background on that bee done. This is 40 count Morganite linen, 1/2 full cross. And I got 230 stitches done over Saturday and Sunday. Because this is full cross and I tend to stitch down, half stitches down one leg and then come back doing the other leg, I'm gonna count row by row, not stitch by stitch. So on Saturday, I only needed to do 12. For some reason, it's a teeny tiny little number, 12 kilometers on Saturday. So I did 19 because I did 2 rows. One was 10, one was 9. So I'm like, okay, So I'll go just over the requirement, and on Sunday, because I was doing the B rows, they were quite long, I ended up with 211 instead of 191. I was considering doing like 3 stitches on the next row and just, but it would have affected my next day stitching a little bit, and I was like, it's fine, it's fine. I'll just do a little bit more. So coming up, there are, let's see, the lowest day is 159 and the highest day is 182 in the next week. So we'll see how I do. We'll see how I do. I'd like to keep going on that one, and hopefully I'll get time for it throughout the week. So my first project that was just kind of my regular piece for the day was Visit Endor. This was to give it a second day in the month of August. And I think I'm actually gonna pick out some stitches before I work on this again. So this mock-up looks pretty good with the contrast, but when I'm stitching it, it's the lighter color of the rock against this even lighter gray, which is practically the color of my fabric, but that doesn't necessarily matter. It's these two, this gray and this gray in real life, don't have that much contrast. I can hardly see the difference. And then this dark green, this is the darkest green, is in the shadow of the letters. It just pops out weird. So I'm thinking I'm going to pick out the E and the O that I have finished, sadly, and use the darker rock gray instead, because it just doesn't look right to me. And it's what's called for, but I don't think it's, with the actual flosses, doesn't seem to work for me. So this is what I have. This is 28 count. Does look a little warped, but I'll block it when I'm done. 28 count Dove Gray Monaco, 2 over 1 half stitches. So, I mean, you could kind of see it in the camera, but it just looks too pale to me. So the other option is to not stitch the background, and just because it looks fine against the fabric, but then it wouldn't have the same travel postery feel. It would just be the word Endor down here, and I don't know. So I'm thinking of picking these letters out and doing a darker gray. So we'll see. It looks a little better on camera than it does in person, but these like accent greens just kind of look overpowering compared to the gray, because the gray is so pale compared to the green, and then it's almost the same color as the background, and I don't know, not happy with it. So I think I'll be fixing that. I did get 425 stitches on Monday. It's now at 93.65%, but I will be taking some of that out and before I move forward. So I did look, it says there's 1,400 remaining in that piece. So that's exciting. Because I'm gonna have to pick out some things, I probably won't get it done in September, but probably for sure by October. So that'll be fun to get that done. And then I will, when that's done, the next time, whatever following month, I have another family piece slot that would have been that one, I'll start my anniversary piece for my parents. And then whenever I finish a family piece after that, I'm going to swap in my owl family, which I'll show you here in a little bit, because that represents my family. So I figure that needs a little bit more attention regularly. So that's kind of in the future plans for a family stitch once some of the other like individual family stitches get finished. So got plans, guys, got plans. So my next piece on Tuesday was day 2 of Simpsons. So this is a piece that was like an eBay purchase ages ago, and I am stitching this for my husband. I made decent progress. It's 237 stitches. So here is where this is at. This is 40 count Verdal 1 over 1 half stitches. And I did some, I think I just picked symbols traditionally with my typewriter method. So the next available symbols along here, which gave me a lot of blues. And I think I completely finished Maggie's bow. And then because of that, there was some edges around like Homer's pants, and I finished more around Maggie's dress, and can't remember. There's a lot of outlining stitches that I did. Oh, and there's even a little bit of fill in here on Homer's pants too, in that little section. All of this will be filled in too, but so yeah, pretty good progress on that one. It is now at 57.74%, and total in August was 733 stitches, which is amazing. For this piece, that's amazing. So I'm really happy with that. Then I moved on to day 2 of Winter Rose by Lavender and Lace. A lot of these pieces got one day earlier in the month because of the Olympics challenge, so it's just kind of wrapping up my goals, finishing them off. So here's day 2 of this one. Here is this one. This is 46 count vintage Misty Rain, I'm pretty sure, 1/2 full cross. And I finished my string in the background, and then I moved over to the dress and picked some colors in her bow, or I think it's a flower actually, back here, and then ended up doing them wherever else they occurred. Some of the lighter ones were only in the muff, and then I got to one that was also some of the lighter shades in the dress, so I did some of that. There's one more blend. There was a blend in the green, and I went ahead and did it as a blend because there wasn't that much of it. 1/2 is what I'm doing most of this, so I'm doing a blend. You've got to do 2 strands, and I didn't realize that when I wanted to do this on a small count fabric. I think with the blend in the dress, I'm going to try where I've heard if you do like the darker leg first, do a half stitch, and do the second leg of your cross with the lighter color, that it is a comparable way to do a blend 1/1. So I think I'm going to try that for the dress because I think it'll be just too thick to get that color in the dress as an actual blend. It doesn't look that different in the green. You can tell it's a little thicker when you're looking really close at it in some of here, but since there's not that much of it, I just went ahead and did it as a 2 strand. But I think for the dress, I will be happier stitching it, and I think it'll turn out nicer. Where did my tube go? Here it is. It's upside down. I think I'll be happier doing it that way, so hopefully it looks okay. That's the plan anyways, when I pull that out again, probably next year. I think it's possible it could be a focus on a finish for next year, because there's not that much of it left. Let's see. Then I worked on day 2 of Meadow by Carolyn Manning. This is what this one looks like. And the first day I just did some of the brown border, so I actually got to do some flowers this time, which was really fun. And I'm doing this on 25 count moss green 1/1 full cross. So I did 500 stitches even. I don't even think I planned it. I think I just finished what I was planning to finish, marked it off. Then when I went to count, write it down, record it in my planner, I was like, oh, hey, exactly 500. That's fun. It's at 11.13% complete. This is the full width of the design. So it's a square, so it'll be like that big. It's not big. It's so cute. Yeah, I didn't get to all the different colors yet, but I did focus in on this motif in the corner. So I picked symbols in that motif to get that one finished. So I think I might do that in the future, like rather than a proper typewriter of the 10 by 10 square, I'll do motif by motif. And then when I have a color on my needle, I'll do it wherever else it occurs nearby until the thread runs out. And that worked really fun. Really well, worked really well. So this is probably one that wouldn't take me too long to finish. I don't know that it'll be a focus for next year, but it's like, it's a possibility of one that doesn't need to take 500 years. It doesn't need to be languishing in my whip pile forever. So that's a fun one. Then I did, like I mentioned earlier, Crazy Wonderful Owl Family. And this one is a perfect representation of my family. This is Heaven and Earth Designs artwork by Anya Kai. I'm doing the no background version. And this represents all of us pretty much perfectly. Like even the size, and colors of all the owls is just great. So I think once I have an open spot in my family rotation, I'll pull this out more regularly to give it like a couple days every month as well. So this is on Glacier by Picture This Plus. 1/1 full cross. And I did 2 days on this, 268 stitches on Friday and 420 stitches on Saturday for a total of 688 stitches. It's now at 6.82%. So I was officially typewriter symbol choosing with this one, which is this. I had this, the top row was completely done. It was about that much of it. So then I was doing the second row, which included finishing up this ear. A lot of the little stitches right here were onesies and twosies, which only had like literally 1 or 2 here, maybe 1 or 2 here, maybe not even that, and a few down here, and then I had to cut it. But then I finally got to some colors that had like some of these oranges. I did a good amount. Then I got to these blues over here. That this whole swoop is pretty much done. This one still needs to be filled in. There's a couple purples that got filled in. So yeah, this is really nice. The Mama Owl's head is in the second row, but I will finish choosing symbols through here before I get to her. And once I find those symbols, I'll have to start here and like count up and over to like make sure it's counted right, but that'll be fun. Yeah, so there's Papa Owl. And I think I will. I was debating if I wanted to do owl by owl or continue doing typewriter over the whole top. And I think I do want to do typewriter because I think it'll be fun to have little bits of all the different owls going as I go along rather than only doing one owl at a time. I think that'll be more fun. Do the different types of colors because they all have a very unique color palette. So I think that'll be fun to choose symbols along the strips of 10 by 10 so that I can kind of, in each stitching session, I'll be kind of focusing on one owl at a time because they'll all be in that one area. But then, especially when it comes out once a month, it'll be fun to kind of pop around to the different parts of the design more frequently. But I think that'll be fun. Okay, and then I did a little bit on summer montage on Sunday for my seasonal stitch. This is by Pain Free Crafts, artwork by Janet Stever. And I'm up here in the rows, and it's taking a while. There's a lot of stitches in there. And I don't give this a huge amount of stitches every month, every week, but I'm chipping away. I got 214 stitches this time. These are full crosses. This is 28 count mushroom Lugana 1/1 full cross. So it is taking me a little longer than some full coverages where I have a half cross, but I'm happy with that. I've been working, choosing symbols in the second row of 10 by 10 within this rows block. So I think I have a little bit more to pick here before I can move down and do more, but you can see I filled in some more rows there and got some more, I think I did it 1 green and some edge details as well. So that's pretty fun. It is now at 2.55%. And I will work on this this coming Sunday as well as next Monday. So it will get 2 more days here in the month of August, but then I believe that will be it for this year. Yeah, in September, I'll bring out my Celtic Ladies montage and work on the autumn quadrant for my seasonal Sundays. And then October, November, I'll do the autumn montage. So this will be 2 more days on this. We'll see how far we can get. So that does bring us to plans. I think that's all I worked on. So my first thing I'll work on this week, besides the Shine Bright sampler, which will be little bits every day, I'm going to work on Lollipop, which is my family piece for this week. This was the one for my daughter, and I'm going to do this 2 days back to back, which is what I usually do. August got a little weird because of the Olympics challenge, and I put my family pieces in for one day here, one day there. So Bear Time Stories still needs one day, and it fit better next week because I'm doing my like catch up extra day of summer montage on Monday. So then I had another standalone day on Tuesday. So Bear Time Stories will get day 2, we'll get that Tuesday. This one, there was a 2-day chunk together, and I didn't do Lollipop for the Olympics challenge, so it gets to be back to back. So this is my starting point on this one. 40 count Verdal 1/1, half cross, and I am choosing symbols along the 10 by 10 squares. And so I've been working on Moon most recently, and I believe my next symbols I can choose are right in there, which will then be the tip of one of the wings of the dragon. So woo-hoo, that'll be fun. Get some color, and we'll see where they go, how far down I will carry things, and I'm excited. So we'll see what that looks like after a couple days. Then I'm gonna pull out Those Who Sing. Again, this is one I would love to finish this year. I'm down here in the house. I will probably continue to be in the house. For the whole time I am working on it this time, but who knows? Maybe I'll go over and work in some of the other stuff too. This is my starting point on this one. And this is, maybe I'll do a before like this so it's closer. But this is 32 count Mushroom Slushy. It's a even weave by Fabric Flair. 2/2 full cross. I'm doing the white of the house first so that the red shutters don't leave fuzz on my thread while I'm stitching. And then I'll do like this center gold color. I'm gonna do that for the inside of the windows. Have a little bit more trunk to do, possibly even a couple more leaves, and then the bench and the crows. So there's still a good amount of stitching down here. This down part is kind of denser stitching. So hopefully I can make good progress on this. This one can be, I don't really like a lot of block stitching. So this house is a little bit tedious, but hopefully it'll go okay. It is solid DMC'd with the house. I am doing, they even call for either Blanc or a plain needlepoint ink silk for the white. So I'm just using white. And so I can go half stitches over and then finish the leg this way, which sometimes feels a little faster. It's probably not any faster than doing 1x at a time, but most of the other stitches in this I'm doing 1x at a time because they're hand-dyed fancy flosses, which I prefer to stitch with 1x at a time to maximize the variegation. But yeah, so the white I can stitch in the other methods, and it sometimes it affects the path you take for sure, because I can go half stitches down a fatter part of the house and then kind of stitch all the way down one window and then come back a little bit, doing the second leg of the row, and then go down in between another window and then finish up more of that long leg. So I don't have to do the whole long leg all by itself. So I don't know if that makes any sense, but sometimes the path you take is different depending on the way you're doing your crosses. Friday and Saturday will be a Whipco piece. So this is going to be my Dimensions Kit, Finery of Nature. I started this last year, 2 years ago, with Elisa from eCrafting in Colorado. And which one am I on? I might be doing this one. We'll have to see. Because I started in the middle and I think I worked my way up. I don't think I'll be stitching this border because it seems too repetitive for my taste, and I just like the center bits, so we'll have to wait and see. But at this point I'm planning to just stitch the center for motifs. I'm doing all the kit floss, kit fabric. This is 14 count black. And here is where it's at for my starting point. And yeah, I think that is that one in that quadrant. So I started in the middle and I'm working my way up and over so I can work down in that block. So we'll see what sort of progress I can make. I might do some back stitching because I think this one looks like it's mostly done. So I'll have to double check if that one's done, all the cross stitching. And then they have like a bunch of metallic gold back stitching, which could be fun. So we'll have to see what, how much of that I get done. I'll spend 2 days on that. And I actually do have a purchase that I forgot to share. So my other WIPGO, my last WIPGO call for August is tea and books. And I was discussing this with Dawn, Frosty X Stitch, because we started this together. And so I thought, well, maybe she'd want to work on it with me. And we've had a change of heart. So this is the original that I've been working on. This is the full-size tea and books, charted by Heaven and Earth Designs, and it's pretty nice. But we've noticed that there's a new version of it. Bridget Ashwood, the artist, has moved over to Pain Free Crafts, and the mock-up looks much brighter and much more colorful. There's a few more colors. It's not the one that they have. I bought it. It's obviously a bigger picture, but it's charted only, it's slightly smaller than this one. It's a little bit smaller than the full size. It's quite a bit bigger than the mini that Dawn is doing. So I have already taken out the background on mine manually in Pattern Keeper, and I will probably still do that with this one. I probably still will not stitch the background, but I'm planning to restart this. So next weekend, the Friday, Saturday next week, Dawn and I will be restarting this, and we'll be doing the Pain Free Crafts version. I pulled out my start. I have the steam and like the top rim just started and the start of this butterfly. So I don't have a whole lot started, and I'm thinking I will either, I'll either pick it out and completely do what's over here, or I will see the size of this and see if I can kind of just fudge a little as I'm getting started to kind of blend the two patterns, since I don't have a whole lot started. So we'll have to wait and see if there's anything I can salvage, like at least the steam maybe, and just restitch some of the cup and butterfly. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But I will take a look at that a little more closely this week so that next week I can be ready to go. But yeah, we like this version better, and that's the plan. So I'll be doing that next week. That was a purchase this week that I bought that chart. So anyways, I think that's all the cross-stitching update I have for you. Smokey ended up over there sleeping, so she didn't stay too long, but at least you got to see her a little bit. And with that, I hope you have a wonderful week and happy stitching. Bye.